Hey, church family, Pastor Jeremiah here. Welcome to our very first completely online service for the Rocket Union. I hope it goes well. I'm pretty sure it will. We put a lot of hard work into it. Eddie's busting his butt, making sure he's got just the greatest messages for y'all. I'm going to have fun doing the worship in a little bit weird ways here and there. We might be in different places at different times. We'll see how it goes. But, I mean, ultimately, we're here just to do our best to answer as many questions as we can. You know, I got my questions, like, is anyone actually going to watch this? I'm sure you have your questions, like, is Jeremiah wearing pants right now? We may never know the answer to these questions, but all I know is I love you guys. And if you're watching this, I hope you feel the love of God coming out of everything we do. Can't wait to see y'all. Let's do this.
Good evening, guys. Welcome back to youth group on Wednesday nights. Even though we can't meet together on Wednesdays, we can still have a service online. This is the first time in 25 years that we haven't been doing youth ministry every single Wednesday. So it's driving me crazy, and I miss y'all like crazy. But each week, we want to give out a gift certificate to one of the teenagers, or maybe multiple gift certificates to McDonald's and Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts or different places. But this week, the very first person that wins a Starbucks gift certificate is Diaz. So I will either mail it to you or bring it to you personally. But I want to just give y'all about a 15 to 20 minute or so devotional. And this devotional, and each week it's going to be short. So log on, watch it. Don't get bored. I almost promise I will try to keep it from being bored. But this week and the next few weeks, I want to talk about a subject that actually Christopher, my knucklehead son, he gave me the idea for this. A few months ago, he posted on his wall a big poster board, and it said that guy who. And then he had all these little stickers, probably 100 different little sticky notes of different things that he wanted to do, or to be that guy who listened to his parents, or that guy who prayed, or that guy who stood up for things, the right thing, or that guy simple things like that guy that does his homework. He wanted to be that guy that treated girls good. He wanted to be that guy that lived his life now, so that way later in life, he would be the man that he wanted to be. So it was really cool to see that. And I walked into his bedroom and saw all these hundreds of different sticky notes of the guy that he wants to be. And so it made me think, man, it challenged me to want to be that certain guy. Now, have any of you ever decided in your mind or thought to yourself that you want to be that type of person? Maybe you watched a movie or a certain TV show, or read a book or magazines, whatever it might be, and you decide, you looked at that person and said, man, I want to be that guy or that girl. And I know I did. Like for me, I always wanted to be that guy who was a youth pastor. But even as a youth pastor now, there's certain things, like I watch all these Avenger movies and superhero movies, and I wish I could be that guy. I wish I could be that superhero. And I realized that I can be that guy. I can be a superhero to my kids. I can be a superhero to my family, to my wife. I can even be the best I can be a superhero or a influence to each and every one of y'all. So Chris wanted to be that guy. And I hope and I think that probably each and every one of you had decided at some point in your life that you wanted to be that person. Now, for some of you, for me, when I was younger, I got in a lot of trouble and I got arrested when I was in middle school. And I decided I didn't want to be that guy. So that's what prompted me to change to want to be this guy that I became. So what are a couple things that I have a couple things I want to challenge you, first of all, to be that guy or that girl that you want to be. And the first thing you have to do is you have to count the cost of what it would cost you to become the person that you want to be. And like for us, like me or old people like myself, when you get older, you'll learn that you have to count the cost of calories on the back of a Coke can or a Mountain Dew can or a candy bar or a cheeseburger. And that's why McDonald's lists all the calories of what you're ingesting and putting into your body. And so people like myself, we have to count the cost of what we put into our body, because what we put into our body is what our bodies are going to look like. So for me, if I want to be that guy of a certain look wise or weight wise or health wise, I have to count the cost of of what I put into my body. And so for you to be that person of whoever you want to be, you have to be willing to count the cost of what you have to sacrifice in your life to stay away from. So for me, if I don't want a lot of sugar and a lot of calories, I have to choose to drink some water versus a Coke or a Mountain Dew, or which my favorite is a Mr. Pibb. And if anybody wants to buy me a Mr. Pibb, I would love it. I would only drink one maybe once a week or so. But you have to count that cost in what you put in, what you see, what you read, what you listen to, the conversation you have, or even the friends that you're around is what you're putting yourself putting into your mind is what's going to come out. So you have to be willing to count the cost of sacrificing some things that are not good for you, sacrificing some things that are leading you into a direction that you might not feel comfortable, or leading you into being or becoming a person that you don't want to be. So first of all, if you want to be that guy or that girl, there's some sacrifices that you'll have to make. And later throughout the next few weeks, we're going to kind of get into those. But sacrifice is one thing. And the second thing is you have to trust the process. You have to have the courage to trust the process that God has in line and in store for you. The Bible tells us in James chapter 1, it says, count it pure joy when we go through trials in our lives. And what that means is God is teaching us during the good times, but he's also teaching us during the down times, during the mountain times when everything's great. Like if you've been to Gatlinburg with us, man, you're on fire. You're on the mountaintop. You're excited for God. But then real life happens when you come back home and you're in that valley. And so the times that we learn and grow the most is the everyday life, and sometimes even through the bad times that happen in our lives. And like what we're going through right now with not being able to come to church, or with the virus that's going on. For some of you, some of you are just kind of doing normal stuff, and some of you are locked at home and not able to be around friends and things like that because of the virus. And during this time is a perfect time for you to find out exactly who you are and who you want to be, and start to make some of those changes now, because we're forced to. And so it would be a shame, and it would be a pity if we just went back to life as normal when this is all over, because you've actually learned something, or you should have learned something and grown and changed some things in your life. So you have to trust the process of that God has for your life, the roads that he has. Sometimes they're good things, and sometimes they're crappy things that happen to us, but it's still part of the plan that God has for us. Really quick, y'all know, if you come to the youth ministry, I'm a huge Miami Dolphin fan. You know that I love the NFL draft when it comes around. And I had all these players when the draft came around back in April. I had all these players that I wanted Miami Dolphins to draft. And the very first draft pick, I was so excited. Christopher and I were just screaming when Miami drafted Tua Tagovailoa, if I said his name right, quarterback from Alabama. And so we were so excited about it. But all of Miami's draft picks after that were people that I had no idea that they were going to draft. And I was upset that they passed on certain people, and then they drafted these guys. And after the draft, I can remember being, a little upset at the Dolphins because they didn't do what I wanted them to do, what I thought they should do, and really what all the professionals thought that they should do as well. But every time I would read an article, you would see someone say during the article is just trust the process. They know what they're doing. And what I learned from this is the Dolphins got the players that they needed. not necessarily maybe the players that I wanted. And so in life, sometimes we have to realize to be that guy or to be that girl, God will give us what we need, not necessarily what we want. And what we need sometimes is learning moments. And those learning moments, those times where we can learn from our mistakes or learn from situations that happen from us. I've always said that there's only one mistake you'll make in life, and that's the mistake you don't learn from. So it's a process. You have to trust a process. You don't always get what you want, but God will always provide for you what you need. And these practices that you start right now to being that man or to being that guy or to being that girl that you want to be, it starts now. And it starts at home by yourself. It starts when you're in the bedroom by yourself, or when nobody's around or nobody's looking, or when your parents are not around, or school teachers or youth pastor or whatever it might be. It starts when you're by yourself to becoming the person you want to be. Those practices now, the things you do, the things you say, the conversations you have, what you listen to, what you watch, all that stuff is preparing you for something later in life. And making the right choices now is going to affect your life later as you get older. Let me prove it to you really quick. I'm just going to read this scripture talking about King David. David, heard the story of David and Goliath. So David is a young man. He's a teenager. He's probably your age. And he's going up and fighting the 9-foot Goliath. Goliath's got muscles popping out of his earlobes. And David at the time looks like Skylar, so you can see the comparison. But Saul, the king at the time, which was too scared to go out and fight Goliath, he was worried about David going out to fight Goliath. And so in 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 36, Saul said to David, it says, "You can't go and fight this Philistine. You're too young and inexperienced." And by the way, I'm reading out of the Message Bible, so it's I love the way the Message says it. It says, you can't go and fight this Philistine, this Goliath. You're too young and inexperienced. He's been at this fighting business since before you were born. And David said to him, because he's had experience, because during all those times when nobody was paying attention, David had confidence in his heart that when a situation was brought up, that he would be able to defeat and be able to fight what his giant was at that time. So David said, I've been a shepherd tending sheep, and he was all by himself. Nobody's watching him. I've been a shepherd tending sheep for my father. Whenever a lion or a bear came and took a lamb from the flock, I'd go after it, knock it down, and rescue the lamb. If it turned on me, I'd grab it by the throat, wring its neck, and kill it. Lion or bear doesn't matter to me. Didn't make any difference. It made no difference to me. And he says, I killed it, and I'll go do the same with this Philistine, with this giant. So why did David have confidence in public when he was faced with a giant or a situation when he got a little bit older? Was because the confidence came from when he was by himself. Because the process was doing the right thing, or practicing the right thing, or practicing for a big moment later in life, came when nobody else was watching. What he was saying is, I fought a lion and a bear when nobody was watching, and I protected them. God protected me and gave me the ability to be able to do it. So God will give you the ability to fight whatever giant you face later in life, and to become that person, that guy, or that girl later in life. All depends on what you do now, especially when nobody else is watching. So my question to you today, do you want to, what type of man or woman do you want to be later in life? Who do you want to be? What do you want people to say about you? Or are you living your life right now as saying that you don't want to be like this anymore? And what steps am I going to take? Are you living your life by saying, I want to be this person? What steps am I going to take? You can do it, guys. And I miss preaching to y'all. I miss seeing y'all in a big group. I have been trying to have small group Bible studies, and we're doing Zoom Bible studies right now, and going and visiting y'all personally. So if you want a visit from me, if I haven't visited you yet, or if you would like me to, just give me a holler, give me a call. Love you guys, miss y'all. And Ziamara, I am super excited that you get to go to Starbucks. And if you want to share it with me, you're more than welcome to. But I think Miranda is the one that is begging to go to Starbucks. Anyhow, love you guys, and I will see y'all next week.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in with us today. We hope you were blessed by your worship experience, and we encourage you to stay connected with us. You can find us on Facebook, where you can like and share our page, and where you can keep up with any information that we want to share with you. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, where you can view our sermons each week. The ministry and mission here at Union is made possible by your support. So if you'd like to be a part of that mission of loving God and loving people, we also encourage you to give. Just go to our church website at weareunion.org. Just scroll down the homepage and click on the option to give. If you're a little bit more traditional, you can also just mail in your payment to Union Church at 106 North Butler Avenue, Avon Park, Florida, 33825. We cannot thank you enough for your continued support. We pray that you stay safe and well and at peace. We love you. We miss you. We'll see you soon. But until then, we are together in spirit. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.